Ever wondered why we dress up in spooky costumes and go trick-or-treating every October 31st? The answer takes us back more than 2,000 years, to a night of bonfires, spirits, and fear, the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. But what if I told you Halloween wasn't always about fun and candy? It was about survival in the face of darkness. Welcome to Mythox, where we uncover the myths behind the modern world. Over 2 millennia ago, the Celts inhabited what is now Ireland, the UK, and northern France. Their new year began on November 1st, marking the end of the harvest and the start of the long, dark winter. For them, winter was a time of death, uncertainty, and fear. They believed that on the night before, October 31st, the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead grew thin, allowing spirits to roam the earth once more. To protect themselves from these wandering souls, people lit massive, sacred bonfires, which were powerful symbols of life against the encroaching cold. They wore costumes made from animal skins and grotesque masks, not for fun, but to confuse and repel the malevolent spirits, hoping to be mistaken for one of them. And in a gesture of peace, they left food and drink outside their homes as offerings for the spirits, hoping to appease them. It was a solemn night dedicated to honoring the dead while the living sought safety from the unknown. Centuries later, as the Roman Empire expanded and conquered Celtic lands, a fascinating cultural fusion began. The Romans brought their own traditions, including Feralia, a day in late October when they commemorated the passing of the dead. They also celebrated Pomona, the goddess of fruits and trees, whose symbol was the apple. This is likely the origin of a classic Halloween game we still play today, apple bobbing. As these distinct festivals merged and blended over time, the ancient rites of Samhain started to evolve, taking on new shapes and meanings. By the 9th century, Christianity had spread throughout the former Celtic lands, and the Church sought to reshape these ancient pagan rituals. In an effort to replace Samhain, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as All Saints' Day, a time to honor all saints and martyrs. This day was also known as All Hallows Day. Consequently, the night before, October 31st, became known as All Hallows Eve, which over centuries of linguistic evolution was shortened to the name we use today, Halloween. But the old traditions didn't just disappear. People continued to light fires, now as candles to honor the dead, and they still dressed up, this time as saints, angels, and devils. A new custom also emerged called souling, where children and the poor would go door to door, offering to say prayers for the souls of a family's deceased relatives in exchange for food, ale, or small coins. This practice of souling is widely considered the direct ancestor of our modern trick-or-treating. The next major chapter in Halloween's story began in the 1800s, when waves of Irish immigrants crossed the Atlantic to America, bringing their cherished traditions with them. One of these traditions was carving jack-o'-lanterns out of turnips to ward off evil spirits. But in the New World, they discovered a larger, more abundant, and much easier to carve alternative, the pumpkin. And so, the iconic pumpkin jack-o'-lantern was born. By the early 20th century, Halloween in America had begun to shift away from its superstitious roots. It transformed into a more community-focused holiday, with neighbors hosting parties and parades. This shift was accelerated after World War II, when candy companies recognized a brilliant marketing opportunity. They began heavily promoting Halloween as a time for trick-or-treating, and it quickly became the national candy-fueled tradition that we know and love today. So, the Halloween we celebrate now is a rich and complex tapestry woven from threads of ancient rituals and modern innovations. It holds the echoes of Celtic fear of the supernatural, the joy of Roman harvest festivals, the solemnity of Christian remembrance, and the pure, unadulterated fun of modern commercialism. But at its very core, Halloween is still about confronting the darkness together. It's about lighting a fire against the cold, wearing a mask to face our fears, and ultimately celebrating life in the presence of death. So, the next time you carve a spooky face into a pumpkin or light a candle to guide trick-or-treaters to your door, take a moment to remember that you're not just participating in a modern holiday. Thanks for watching. This is Mythox, where myths meet history and legends never die. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories behind our world.